Yo, check out this segment from the Pre-Patch podcast.
Um, I am has started or not started, but I played CSGO for a little bit while I've been on my break and hiatus. And the only reason of that is because there is a huge rumor that CS Counter-Strike Source
Source 2.0.
2 is coming out. What are do you guys care? I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Like, do you think yeah,
I mean, I used to be a CSGO and CS 1.6 enjoyer. I wasted many hours of my life with that toxicity. But there was a time that I enjoyed it. And I almost kind of wanted it to come back with Valorant, but I didn't get that. It just didn't. It just wasn't that. It was a different kind of toxicity Valorant has, and I wasn't for it. So I'm definitely I'm eager to see what this rumor has because I really don't know like what it's gonna like if it's really drastically gonna change it or not, or if it's really just gonna be kind of a prettier CS:GO.
Regardless
I'm
of the
uh
rumor, it's drastically increased the player base on base
It has.
CSGO right now. It's went up
I'm
And, like,
500,000 players.
and
I'm,
even
I'm gonna
even
I'm gonna say
before that,
something that Bill is gonna like, and
uh,
it's Counter Strike or Counter Strike Source is the less superior version of
Rainbow
what's
Rainbow
Six
Six
Rainbow
Siege.
Siege.
Six Siege? Yes, there you go.
Ah, I think they live
you're crazy.
I actually had an argument with my
side by side.
cousin the other day about both Counter Strike and Siege. He said they were both shittier versions of Call of Duty Seek and Destroy.
Get out of here.
Search and destroy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
No.
no, absolutely not. I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
trying to find. I want to find the chart that is out there about like online games and like the most played online Steam games.
It's
Um,
one of them.
and
I
it's
don't
not one
doubt
of
it.
them.
Yeah,
it's
It's
going up.
dominated.
it's
Yeah,
probably the top. Yeah,
like the past like 2 or
I'm
3
looking
years,
at it
it's
right
been
now.
drastically going up, and it's kind of crazy. I don't even know
It is
why.
still the top. It's almost doubled the second one, which is Dota 2.
Well, like when
yeah.
you look at if you there's a video on YouTube that shows it. But like when you look at like the like change over years, right? Of population, like they do, they have this video of like population growth for countries, and they do the same thing where it's like over the years of where you see it, like it's in like you see PUBG all of a sudden blows up, right? And that's where
Yeah.
you see Counter Strike start to take a dip, and then it maybe held that for maybe a year, and then that was it. And then after that, like if a year, I would actually probably say maybe like 6 months. After that, it just Counter Strike exploded again. It
Yeah.
never has looked back. And the amount of money there was today, it came out news. Someone spent $250,000 on a gun skin in that game. Like
That is wild.
That's
I
not even
That
the most
is
expensive one, I don't think
Nah,
either.
there's been
nah.
more, but
but it's just
I
nuts.
don't.
Like
And it
I
wasn't even
think
an NFT.
nope.
I think that what's it called? 1.6, the original was a lot better than Go. Whenever Go released, I used to be a big fan of 1.6, but Go released and I don't know, it just lost something.
I don't know. I think Go made a lot of needed adjustments and improvements that 1.6 didn't have. Um, I think a lot of 1.6 is definitely just nostalgic fuel, and like it was a very archaic version of
Sir,
CS:GO.
I was playing 1.6 when you were in fucking diapers. You shut the fuck up.
You are outlashing at me because you just feel it's very
Shut
nostalgic.
the fuck up. It's far
I
superior.
was playing
1.6 was so
1.6
much
too.
better, dude.
It,
We used to play that thing.
it was. I mean, it wasn't better, but it was a
It
good
was so
game.
much better. It was 100% better.
I
We used to play that in our in my high school type class, the typist class. You know how you had to go and type your little fucking sentences. You know,
yeah.
I had a pretty quick typing skill, so therefore I'd get it done quickly, and a couple other kids did, and we'd have like little CS or 1.6. I about said CS:GO, 1.6 fucking LAN parties.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had. I mean, I played Cal League. Like I
Yeah,
remember playing
yeah.
Cal League, and I remember playing 1.6 and all of those kind of things. So, it's a I really do, because I was actually thinking about this, right? Like as I was riding, taking my kid to school, we were talking about Call of Duty and video games and all of these things, right? And we're going to talk about another one that's coming out here shortly, but um, uh, there is a lack of competitive or lack of development when it comes to competitive shooters, right? Like right now, competitive is definitely in the space where like MMOs were, a long time ago, where it was you basically have WoW and Final Fantasy, and that's it. Like everybody, had that wave where they developed for them. They were trying to get competitive shooters, but now you've got Call of Duty and what? Like I guess you could consider Valorant,
Call of Duty,
Overwatch.
Valorant, CSGO, and Siege. Those are the big four as far as like competitive shooters go.
And you said Overwatch, right?
I
Did you
didn't
play
say Overwatch because
We
it's not
we have
it's
to
not
we have to include Crunker as well, guys. Like it has to be a thing.
But when we're talking about like competitive style, things like that, that's really kind of it. And I think that there is a spot where something like this needs to happen, where there Counter Strike 2 coming out would, or Source 2 would absolutely, I think, shake the foundation of
I also
competitive
think
FPSs.
I also think that you need to hold your breath on some of these rumors because we all know how well Valve gets out actual games. Like we've been waiting on Half-Life 3 for how long now?
It's
Well,
coming,
yeah,
bro.
look at
It's coming one of these days, man.
look at Days Gone, man. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
but
all I'm saying is hold your breath on that, man. Like I don't know, we'll see.
yeah.
Whenever I see anything that comes from Valve in general, and people are like, "Oh,
Yeah,
it's a rumor CS:GO 2 coming out," I'm like, "Yeah, show me the proof
I was
first."
very shocked to hear people were saying that these rumors could potentially be like this week or
Well,
like
I mean,
this.
it's
Do
look,
you
man. If you
so with Source 2, is this like them updating the game
That's
to a new
what I
engine, or
want
is
to
this
know.
going to be like a new game overall where people are going to have to buy it again?
That's what I want to know, really.
It's 100% going to be another game. They might bring it out free to play like they did with Go.
I mean, it's so basically like this is saying like what this is saying, right? This article, and this is from PC Gamer, right? Is saying that a couple weeks ago, data mined from an NVIDIA driver, which yes, they've talked about like Half-Life 3 and all those kind of things, but nothing has ever been substantiated by a third party saying that they've got something like this, like an NVIDIA driver, out there for this specific game, right? Which means that they're basically getting it ready for a game ready driver. Like that's exactly what this is saying.
You know
Is
what
that
also had like NVIDIA supporting drivers was the day before.
what? When?
That's true, man. Yeah,
The day before had an NVIDIA DLSS or
and the day
whatever.
before that, it
Mhm.
had drivers the day before that too.
Anyway, but they're basically saying that that there's a new version of Counter Strike Global Offensive on its Source 2 engine.
I don't know.
So
So I don't know, man. I'm just like right now. I'm still hesitant, and like Enigma is saying, like all these rumors, you got to be hesitant with Valve.
Yeah.
But I'm right now. My mind, it's going to Overwatch 2. If this does come out,
Yeah,
is this just going to be an Overwatch
it's
2?
just them trying to
I-
update and get more people into
I
it
mean,
again.
it could be like what Dead by Daylight
The
did, where they
the
completely overhaul the engine like in
Yeah.
game.
the
Th-
thing
that
the thing that
is
I have
what I'm
to
kind of leaning towards because they're changing the source files already in game to like the CS2 or whatever. Like, is this just going to be like some update to the source engine and it's just going to overhaul existing CS:GO?
That would
Well,
be the
that's
best
what
way to go
I
about
mean.
it.
Yeah, I don't think
I would
unless
imagine that would happen.
I mean, yeah, because I don't think that they're going to do what they did from CS:GO from CS 1.6 to CS:GO. Like I don't see
And
them
there's a whole new game.
redoing a
I-
whole new game. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they could, but I don't see the point. Like CS:GO is just such a worldwide phenomenon, and it just is such a success. Like why would you chance
Oh.
rolling those dice of saying, "Hey, we got to come out with another game," versus making it prettier? And the biggest problem that I'm going to see with them doing this is like if that is the case and they're just upresing and making it a better version on a new engine, if that fucks with like the patterns that people have learned of guns
No,
and
I
things like that,
I mean,
like
that's
that.
possible, but
you
I
got
don't.
you got to remember that the update from 1.6 to Source was not an entirely new game. The update from Source from 1.6 was a free update for Counter Strike, and then they went into Global Offensive, which came out as a new game. Granted, I'm pretty sure that they made it free to play when it released, didn't they?
No.
I don't think you had to buy
No.
it. Is it free to play, or am I
Go?
thinking of
No,
something
you had to
else
buy.
right now?
You had to buy
You
Go.
had to buy Go up until 2018.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
under
I knew
2018,
that they had
Go
made
went
it free to play at one point. I just couldn't
Yeah.
remember when.
That's
So
kind of when it started to take off.
that's when it
again.
failed. It was 2000 when they went free to play. It kind of
I
dipped
wouldn't
in
say that
popularity.
Go has
didn't-
ever failed.
It didn't
It,
fail.
it dipped in popularity to a
It
point that
gained
they had to
traction, and then it dipped after that. But then immediately after that dip, it spiked, and that was right around the
Yeah,
time
because
of
it went free to play.
2020, and no, that was they only gained like maybe 300,000 when it went free to play. But after that, they dipped and they went back up, and that's right around the time that the pandemic hit.
Well, and it
so-
dipped because of the PUBGs and the battle royale scene, and
Yeah.
that becoming a bigger mainstream,
That
and
was when
Fortnite, right?
Fortnite was really popping off too with Ninja and all that,
Right.
all that stuff.
Yeah,
So-
so it dipped in popularity and failed.
But it didn't fail. Like, you can't say it failed. Like, there's no way that you're going to tell me that a game that is holding millions upon millions, more than every
I'm
MMO,
not saying that it
is a
failed
failure.
completely, but I am
It
saying
didn't
that it dipped in
fail.
popularity and failed in keeping the popularity in the player base.
That
100%, yeah.
Are you saying after it went free to play?
No, I'm saying that it dipped in popularity and failed to keep its player base, and therefore they brought it out as a free to play to get the player base back.
Okay.
Mm,
I mean, it did get the player base back to where they were holding it.
And
when
regardless
they
of the
were-
pandemic or not, regardless, I mean, a lot of games spiked in popularity when the
Yeah.
pandemic came. Nobody had anything to do.
I honestly
that's-
don't even know what we're arguing about anymore.
Yeah.
this is Enigma wants
I mean,
to argue.
I'm not arguing about anything. You guys are the ones that are arguing with me. I'm just saying that it failed to keep its player base and dipped in popularity. Yes, that is factual.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
I- What in that fucking statement is wrong? I'm having a hard time figuring that out.
I don't know. We're gonna sit here for another 30 minutes and argue about CS:GO, and we didn't even want to even talk about it.
Like, granted, yeah, it's a great game, like 100% CS:GO.
No, you said it was
Ooh.
shit. 1.6 was
Cool.
better. Hey, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Patch Notes. Don't forget, you can catch our cast live every Thursday night at 10:30 Eastern Standard, right here on YouTube and Twitch.tv. You can also find us at anchor.fm/prepatch podcast, as well as the many other podcast platforms. You better be there.